Despite apocalyptic losses on the front lines and Trump's threats to turn Russia into a wasteland with sanctions, Putin is showing his readiness to fight to the last vatnik. Moreover, the Kremlin has declared a crusade against the entire Western world. From the cradle, the serfs are frightened with tales that terrifying Anglo-Saxons will come riding on microchipped Mickey Mice. And they'll start imposing their terrifying values alien to the people to the scrap bearer.
Gentlemen, do you truly understand what this man is doing all over the entire world? I genuinely think if we were to burn him today, right here and now, then everything is truly just going to be fine.
Propaganda has convinced Russians that their Western neighbors mired in Sodom and poverty dream of taking away the Russians' earthly paradise.
58 types of gays. 58 types. Good people. Where have we seen them? And how are we even supposed to tell one from another?
Let's figure this out. Why are Russian men being bagged up on an industrial scale? What are they defending, and what are they fighting against? Paradoxically, Russians are dying to prevent certain things from coming into their homes: progress, prosperity, and freedom. They genuinely believe that the arrival of Western values could make their dump even worse.
You won't find a place better than Russia anywhere. Look at what's happening in other countries. So many poor and destitute people there.
But which countries have we actually managed to visit?
I haven't had the chance. I just watch a lot of TV.
It only takes a superficial comparison of the standard of living, technology, and society in civilized countries and in Russia to... The disposable orcs on the front lines have started to seriously ponder the meaning of life, and even more so,
death. A tragic and significant global issue. The United States of America, a major global player, accounts for a substantial 25% of this total, highlighting its considerable impact.
Of the world economy, the decaying EU is 18%, and the share of the great and mighty swamp civilization in the world economy is less than 2%. It's like comparing a sock stall to a supermarket.
Listen, I find it so funny to hear your stories about how great you all are, how everything is just wonderful over there. So here I am just driving down an American road here in Texas. Just so you know, all these stories I tell you, like how the economy of Texas is bigger than the entire Russian economy. Just look at this road. See, this is just one direction. Over there, damn. Now we're going to go up a hill. Go ahead, count the lanes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Putin really likes to boast that Russia is among the top 10 countries in the world by purchasing power index. They've even caught up with and surpassed Germany in this regard.
Russia currently ranks 4th in terms of GDP based on purchasing power parity. We're somewhere quite nearby in terms of position, in fact. Russia, the Federal Republic of Germany, Japan. The difference isn't that big. We're ahead, but the difference isn't significant.
Kitchen orcs cheerfully raise their glasses of boyarishnik to the brilliant economist. And then they go to pee on the shabby entranceway. After all, they're the richest people in the world. It never even occurs to them to ask, if we're economically stronger than Germany, why do we live 100,000 times worse? The average salary in the soulless homeland of Bach is 4,500 euros. In Russia, only
the value in question is 950, a specific numerical figure that holds relevance within this particular context.
But maybe Russia would have better chances not against the EU's strongest economy, but against little Estonia?
No.
In Estonia, the average salary is about 2,000 euros. That's twice as high as in Russia. Estonia has no oil, no gas, no concerts, no shaman, and not even the great Putin. And yet people live better there than in Russia. Incredible.
Unfortunately, this story is hardly a comedy. It's more of a tragic farce.
Because of the miserable wages. Russians are going to war en masse because it's the only way to earn decent money in Putin's paradise. As a result, entire settlements are left without men.
In the village of Sedanka in Kamchatka, every man has gone to the special military operation. There's no one left to chop firewood for the stoves.
This small northern village has about 400 residents. In reality, only 224 people remain here, 67 of whom are children. Sedanka is a national village. Almost all of its inhabitants are Koryaks and Telmen. We were really hoping to experience some authentic local color, but instead we unfortunately arrived at the most truly depressing place we've ever seen.
Just imagine the poverty people live in, that teachers, engineers, and mechanics go off to die just to get a pay raise. And everyone in Russia already knows what war is. It's meat grinder assaults, erasure, lawlessness, commanders' arbitrariness, torture, and violence. But people still go there because the situation at home is no better, maybe even worse.
Most of the able-bodied fishermen have gone to the special military operation zone. All the housing stock was built back in Soviet times, and it's all eaten away by mold. Even if you can't see it with the naked eye, you can easily tell by the smell. Most of the houses have neither running water nor warm toilets. Life here has come to a standstill.
Maybe pensioners in Russia live well? Hardly. The average pension in the swamps is 250 euros. And in Finland, for example, it's 2,100 euros. Russian pensioners cheerfully discuss on benches how, in terms of purchasing power parity, they've surpassed Europe. And then they all go together to rummage through dumpsters in search of food.
And whatever the scene offers, it's never enough.
Sometimes, oh wow, indeed.
Someone throws something out of kindness. You don't have to settle for tomatoes bread, but mushrooms. Let's take them in our hands.
Well,
all right, what? Is it a pity? A little carrot, a carrot? Give some. Oh, out of sheer kindness, someone throws out such kindness to you too. 3 pieces of paper in the bag, my bag, thank you very much.
The main thing is, what about the Anglo-Saxons and Banderites? They won't make it to this dumpster. After all, it's guarded by the nuclear triad. By every measure, Russia is a poor, backward, and antisocial state. Despite the hundreds of billions the country earns from resource trade, ordinary citizens languish in total poverty.
Unboxing! The national sausage known as kutsinenka is a truly delightful and traditional delicacy. Well, on the way home, we made a quick stop at the local store and purchased this delicious kutsinenka for a total of 411 rubles, which was a very reasonable price for such a high-quality product.
The TV convinced Russians that their own well-being doesn't matter. What matters is greatness. It's better to be proud of the Sarmat missile than to eat well and live in comfort. The philosophy of Russians. Let things get just as bad everywhere else as they are here.
We hear stories about giant rats at shoots like this all the time. But here things are a bit different. Dumpster pigeons rummage through organic waste and then perhaps fly to the windowsills of residential buildings. Right across from the dump, just 5 meters away, are the gates of school number 29. Parents are tired of putting up with the unsanitary conditions and are worried about their children.
Comparing the infrastructure and living environment in the West and in Russia, it almost feels inappropriate. In Russia, millions of people still live without running water or gas supply. In a country with the largest reserves of fresh water and natural gas, and yet Russians are content with this. They keep chopping wood, washing themselves in a basin, and voting for Putin. To be completely fair, technology isn't standing still there either. In some particularly advanced regions, they've started installing the latest washing stations on rivers.
Every year, the city administration signs a contract with a contractor to install and maintain these washing stations, which are in high demand among the population. The contract amount is 250,000 rubles. The scope of work includes repairing and maintaining laundry and rinsing areas in proper condition. According to residents of the Dimkovskaya side, they requested 2 weeks ago to move the washing station from the dry shore into the water. This was only done today.
Dad, did you actually see that incredible thing?
A legendary incident happened in the city of Achinsk. This is an uninhabited village. A city of 100,000, which even has an airport, but no sewage system. People continue to relieve themselves, just like their grandfathers and great-grandfathers in a pit. Even the ancient Sumerians had sewerage systems in their cities, but Russia is still far from the Sumerians. And in this Achinsk, one unpatriotic woman decided to install in her home toilet. She carried out all the work herself and began to grossly violate the values and traditions of the Russian state. Naturally, the security forces immediately became interested in this and ordered the woman to eliminate the threat to national security.
Bailiffs come to me with my decision that I should dismantle the toilet. But I was so taken aback, as if this was all. Yes, there was a decision. In May 2022, there was a court decision that I had to dismantle the toilet. They gave me a method, I contacted the management company of our housing office, asking them to help me remove it according to the court's decision.
This is really happening before our eyes. Russians are literally being forced by the courts to live in squalor, to go to the toilet in the bushes or in a shared, dilapidated outhouse.
I have to be at the department within 5 days. So tomorrow they're going to remove my toilet. Where am I supposed to go? I quickly write to the administration saying that the bailiffs gave me 5 days to remove this toilet. But where am I supposed to go? Where am I supposed to use the bathroom?
Well, what options are there? These bushes.
The bushes.
So there's no shared toilet for all the residents of the building?
At the moment, no. It's somewhere over there. I have to fight for this, carve out a path for myself. Even just to get here alone. There's no cesspit here. You see, it's a nightmare.
Naturally, the woman had her toilet taken away, and maybe they even slapped her with the label of foreign agent, or accused her of working for the SBU. Just look at the landscape around this woman's house. This is exactly the kind of horror that Russian soldiers are supposedly protecting from the evil West. This is what Russian orcs are dying by the hundreds of thousands for.
Now you just have to live with this ongoing war. You DNR. And how are you supposed to live with this, huh? GDP.
A truly trick question. How many Americans and Europeans actually wake up at night constantly thinking about capturing all of this incredible beauty? Right now, the Kremlin is spending all its money on the war. And it would seem here is a historic chance to boost Russian science and industry. After all, wars have always been the engine of progress, but not in Russia's case. There, on the contrary, it's a technological disaster. Everything is degrading. It's very telling that Kamaz has reported huge losses. Just think about it. During a war, a company that produces goods for the military is going bankrupt. The orcs are howling that they don't have enough transport for logistics, yet Kamaz still has no orders. There are two possibilities here. Either the tactics of the Russian army no longer involve using large vehicles at all. They'll be torn apart anyway. FPV drones. Instead of trucks, they use pedestrian and donkey traction.
I don't understand anything.
Second option, the Kamaz products are so incredibly inferior that they prefer to buy Chinese junk instead. And even in conditions of severe military shortages, no one truly needs these super nano-analog domestic trucks, which are clearly not up to standard or expectation. And not just trucks. Other Russian automakers are also taking losses, because everything is done in a makeshift, homespun way.
You really had to think of that. Just look, here's your brand new Bukanka van. Cargo passenger type. This window ended up half in the cargo compartment, half in the passenger compartment. Do you know how they solved the problem? They just completely covered it with film. Look, you can't see through it, it's covered with film. Look at how they solved the problem. Huh? Look at what they did with the window seal. I'm honestly shocked. Look, the upholstery is hanging loose. This is from the passenger compartment, just so you know. Here, look, wires. Oh my gosh.
The Bukanka is a symbol of Russian progress. A model from the 1960s. The Russians managed to modernize it in such a way that it actually got worse. Wonderful, truly astonishing, and absolutely genius. In Russia, they unfortunately don't know how to produce high-quality medicine, reliable quality equipment, or even decent quality consumer goods. Even their much-praised weapons turned out to be much worse than Western ones in practice. If it weren't for China, the swamps would have already regressed to the level of the Middle Ages. Although in some regions the wild 1200s have already arrived thanks to the wise policies of the Kremlin gnome.
Idiot! You scared us all!
Russia is a backward country with a poor, disenfranchised population that has been driven to such a level of social degradation that people are ready to kill for a piece of bread and a washing machine. So it's not at all surprising that in Russia they are planning to open a truly real, actual, and genuine slave market. This is not a joke or a fable. This is the harsh Russian reality.
The Russian elite has completely lost its mind. The Orthodox billionaire Sterligov has announced the opening of a market with male and female slaves in the Sterligov brothers' settlement. Just so you understand, this deranged idiot claimed that this is a radical solution to staffing problems. And we're not talking about any kind of sexual perversions, in case someone might have imagined something like that. He stated it exactly like this: Russian male and female slaves for Russian landowners.
I would like to remind you that this video is created for entertainment purposes and contains elements of satire and irony. All facts and events are presented in a hyperbolized or exaggerated form to convey a comedic or dramatic effect. Our goal is not to mislead, but to highlight humor. Please take it with a smile.